Simple decision right at the inception of any business can be the best or worst decision for that company, and it's the choice of whether to go it alone or go into partnership with someone else or even a group of people. Now the first factor is pretty obvious, and yet that's where so many mistakes are made, and I'll explain now. Millions of people looking to start their own enterprise often think, hey, if I go it alone I won't have to share my money with anyone, and if that's your overall deciding factor, you probably deserve to fail. If you listen to the first video in this series, it teaches you that if you give enough people what they want, you inevitably get what you want. It's practically a human law. So one of the first things about your mindset should be to serve others, to find something that you have that they want. Therefore, if you're selfishly thinking, I want to keep everything for myself, that's not a good sign in business. Don't get me wrong. Being 100% owner of a big company does mean you get to keep all the rewards yourself. However, in deciding to be the lone wolf, there are many other much more important factors that you should think about first. First thing about involving a partner is, what do they bring to the table? The obvious things are they've got a skill you don't have, investment money, staff or people you'd find hard to get hold of, premises or other tangible assets of significance to your company. Now, just because someone offers you something like I just mentioned, it doesn't mean you have to be in business with them straight away. My best advice to you on this is to think before you make anyone any offer. Having a business partner is just as serious as a marriage, and you shouldn't rush into it. One of the biggest things that can go wrong is mutual commitment. If one partner repeatedly does more work than the other, that's a recipe for resentment to start building, which is fatal to most businesses. You have to clearly agree who does what's expected from each other, and what has to be done. This has to be done right at the beginning. If you see someone with a skill set you don't have, ask yourself, can you acquire that for yourself, and is it worth your time and effort learning this? Should the answer be no, you can't get that skill set yourself, you might still consider paying that person for a set period of time to provide those services for you. However, if that skill set is central to the operation of the business, then you do need to make sure that person can't just walk away, leaving you stranded, and that swings the pendulum towards full partnership. There are many great advantages of a good partnerships. One advantage is whenever two minds come together for a mutual goal, a third invisible mind is always created. I've seen this too many times to doubt the truth of that statement. Now, all businesses run into difficult times or encounter tough decisions, and having a partner who is in sync with you and obviously understands every nook and cranny of the business, that's invaluable to have that person around in such times. That's when the very best decisions are made, when two or more people with a mutual and vested interest in a company make decisions about that company they're acutely familiar with. The most important emotion in choosing a business partner isn't, as you might think, liking them, although liking your prospective partner is a massive advantage. There's one emotion that's even more important, and that is respect for each other. Without respect, disaster will follow. Two or more people coming together to pool their resources have to have huge respect for each other, to such a degree they actually think about the other before themselves, and that's a great sign. Going back to mutual accountability at the outset, you as partners or you as a group of people need to have very clear boundaries and responsibilities laid out, and that doesn't stop at each other. To have a successful business, you have to project that accountability onto every single person in your organization. You need to make sure every one of your employees have expected performance levels and or targets, and between you and your partner or group of partners, you need to decide and agree from the partnership who is responsible to supervise every single employee. Everything, and I mean everything produced in your business has to be measured to ensure your success. The worst thing to set in is to have employees who are drifting around without knowing what they're supposed to be achieving and who they're showing their results to. An employee under those circumstances will spend all their time on social media for at least half the day, bleeding your company to death. So think carefully when starting out if you're going to be on your own or working as a team. If in doubt, start as your own. It's much easier to add someone as you go along than get rid of somebody. And the last thing I'd like to say about whether you should be a sole trader or go into a partnership or a group is that you are a lion. If you're in business, that's your default position. If you're not a lion, then stop and learn about becoming a lion and then come back and start your business. Now, when you do start as a lion, doesn't it make sense to surround yourself with a team of lions, just like in this picture? So when you consider teaming up with anyone, think of your group of lions and do they belong in your team? Maybe that's why it's called a pride. They're proud of you and you're proud of them. Stick it on job adverts if you like. Lions only need apply and see if they raise it on the interview. Then you can identify lions before you even employ them. Click the subscribe button and the notification bell and leave a like please, and we'll see you on the next video. See you soon.